Hello and welcome to this playthrough of Factorio, where I am building a megabase on Earth. I am using a mod, Cities of Earth, focusing on the Old World Hemisphere. My goal is to reach 10,000 science per minute with a rail-based design. The resources are set to maximum size and density, and biters and pollution are turned off. The mod list is shown in the description, as well as a link to my Twitch channel, High Speed. Please come visit me there. Questions and comments are welcome. Thank you for watching. Actually, what I want here is a 3 to 4. He might have gone offline before the raid finished. Nope, it worked. I have more visitors. Thank you, Exterminator. Welcome, everyone. Lavoy, Hiwakako, again. Exterminator, I'm glad you're back. Hope you're feeling even better. Rest again. I'm excited for your new series. I really enjoyed watching you get wrecked over and over and over. Can you buy Exterminator on a train? I will let you do that. You don't have to buy it, though. It's just a redeem. If you've got the points. Canadian Wolf, hello. Lichter. You want him to have that. All right. So Star Streak, thank you for the follow. You get your name on a wagon. Bobja, that was an amazing performance. Oh, yeah. Canadian Wolf, you get your name right next to displays on a train for sticks. Bobja, what'd you get? You are on a blue science train. And you know what? We're going to put you right next to Exterminator. We're going to give Exterminator this train. Hopefully it doesn't get blowed the heck up. Uh, 100, 100, 100 is kind of boring, but we'll try it. And copy paste. This is from a mod called Vehicle Stickers. I'm really hoping to talk Exterminator into using it. It even supports integration, as you saw. Whenever somebody follows, it puts their name on a wagon. And then that can be modified. To make that pop a little bit more. There we go. Oh, yeah, I've been on his Discord. I'm in a chat with him. I've actually friended him on Discord. So, yeah, we're good with that. If it's all right with you, Kiwakakal, I'm going to crank this up to 200 so that it's a little bit more visible. And I keep hitting the wrong key there. Aiden. Yeah, I wrote all those explosions that you saw that kill him. I wrote the mod that killed him. Thank you, Cockle. So, yeah. This is a MegaBase. It's a 10K science per minute MegaBase. I fired it up last night, just before midnight my time. And it shit the bed. It ran out of power, as mentioned. I have 100,000 beacons, which are taking 51 gigawatts, or as Monkey would say, gigawasps of power. The assemblers kicked on and broke everything. I ran out. Yeah, it did the first time. It did actually work, though. I mean, it did its job. We see here, I reached 10K. My goal was 10K, so I'm capable of 10K. So it will work. This was too long, so I split this in half and made two. I turned Turkey into another power provider using these 2 gigawatt nuclear power designs that Fennec designed. I have 3 of these 4 silo complexes, which are self-contained. And I mean self-contained to the point where the resources that come in, all of these arrays, there's 144 furnaces in each array, and that's tuned to how much all the resources are set to max and max there. So, but if you notice the train rails, I'm going to cut these down. They're 4 lanes right now because this intersection is a nice Christmas tree, but it doesn't need to be this big. But there's no connection between any of these trains and the outside world. This rail connection doesn't persist. There's only the science. So I've got 3 of these. One of them in Africa, one of them in India, and one of them up here in Russia. So, yeah, Lauren, I think that's Turkey, right? I mean, I'm an American educated in government education system, so I think that's Turkey? I don't know. For a while, I had something that even Africa can't do. I had it fully electrified grid. I've since been tearing down the grid and the the radar. I'm using an extended radar mod so that I don't need as many radars, but they take 4 times as much power. So I've been scaling back the radar coverage because, as you can see, my radars are taking, 500 megawatts. So I've got these spiders. This one using vehicle sticker. I named it Unstuck because I was careful not to get it stuck. It's got a partner somewhere around here whose name is Stuck, because Stuck always gets stuck because it's an idiot. Yeah, there's Stuck. I put him in Africa where there's no way it can get stuck because it's an idiot. And by the way, it found ways to get stuck. So I'm gradually tearing out this infrastructure. Well, one of the things the Cities of Earth mod has is it has teleporters around cities. Like here's Danglia, right? It's in Africa, and it pre-placed the city for me because that's what the map does. I also have a mod that I rescued from the dustbin called World Flags. It's not called World Flags on the mod portal. It's not released because there's an argument between the author and the person who published it about who owns the images for the mod. Because you see, I've got all the flags of the world here. So I haven't published the mod. But what I figured out that I can do is I can do this, which I think is really cool, is instead of having the anonymous little info symbol, oops, what I did is I gave the city its flag. And I'm going to write to the author of the mod, of the original flags, and ask if I can use them in Cities of Earth. Now, mind you, I have a version of this mod where you play just Europe, and the cities, the pre-placed cities, are the capitals of the states. So there's like 48 cities, and you scale it up and make it big, and you play on Europe, exactly in Europe as it is on a satellite image. Subscribers can get themselves a house that size. Non-subscribers get a nice little house. Sydney's name is bigger than their house. Thanks, Lecter. Well, I made the map too big. I didn't know how many resources I needed, so I made the map larger, really large, and then I set all the resources really high. And I could have made this map, obviously, 1/3 its size. I could have done just Africa at this size and made it all fit. So no bugs, no pollution. So lesson learned, the concepts of having independent train stations for everything, including the god-awful copper cable on a train. By the way, Smokin keeps redeeming name on a train every day, and he's like cornered the copper cable market. Almost all the trains have his name on them. But the concept of having these independent facilities that have a standardized unloader and loader facility design, and then just use as much of the belt as I can, it works. It works. It delivered the resources. The UPS fail that I had is what I'm working on fixing right now, which I have this satellite production facility. Each one of these self-contained rocket silo complexes, this thing is their ultimate goal. Each one of these has their own satellite production facility. So this one assembler needs all of that. And actually it needs more. I realized in this reworking that I need another wagon of copper. I'm only feeding it half the copper it needs. But when I powered this thing on, my UPS went into the 30s because these bots went nuts. And I don't mean when I powered on the whole world. Well, Kiwakakal, I can't do the continental US, but I can build you your house wherever you want in the world I've got. And like, for example, I've got Moustache here, who's in New York City, but he was fine with having his castle in Western France. So is there anywhere in this area that you would like a castle built for you? Because I see you're a subscriber, so, you know, you get a castle. Where would you like it? Let me know, and I'll go build it. I'm even going to run down the track. Run. Yes, I use a mod for concrete coloring called Color Coding Plus. And yes, it's silly what I do, but I really enjoy it. I get to see where different things are. Intermediates, unloaders, production, trains. Okay. Let me find. I use Map Carta to find things on the world because I don't know shit. Istanbul is in Turkey. Oh, you want it right on that little bridge. I hope it fits. Where he's wanting his house is right here. Castle won't quite fit there. Would you like it on this side? Or would you like it on this side? I try not to do landfill, so I think we're going to have to go up here. This is a nice little fit right here. They might be giants, yes. So we're going to go with about right there. So this train, I've got electricity. Does this train have radar? Yes, it does. I'm on it, I think. We're going to go here, and we're going to build it. By the way, if you missed any episodes and you want to go back and see what it's like, I do have a YouTube channel, High Speed Games, and all the VODs are there. They're about 2 months behind. No, I'm sorry. Dragon Tour, welcome. I missed the Pink Floyd reference. I do have some Pink Floyd in the Spotify playlist. So that's going to take a little while to get there. And while it's traveling, I'll continue with this design a little bit. So we're going to bring steel in. How much steel do I need to bring in? These are the solar panel assemblers. They need one belt between them. All right, we're here. There's other trains wanting to get through. We're going to leave you some trees in the courtyard, but not inside the building. We're blocking traffic and we don't care. And then because you're in the United States, we're going to make you a flag for the United States. And we'll put you right there. And then at this level, what we do is if I can remember, there it is. Istanbul. Oh, you're not cooperating. Ah, bugger off, train. We're sitting here first. Yes, we'll be able to get there. Now, my stuff doesn't have loops, so I'm going to have to find a place to turn around. Come on, come on. There we go. Yes. We're going to... Give you an extra door. One that nobody else has. No one has those doors. And of course, we've got to give you a small, small little area outside. Don't mind the train traffic. Green circuits do need a lot of copper. For those who don't know, King is working on a beltless MegaBase using trains only. they give extern PTSD. Yeah, look, the ratios I've seen, early game, it's 3-to-1 iron to copper. And then once you get low density structure, the numbers change, and it becomes 50-50 iron to copper, closer to 40-60. But what's interesting is that the iron is used 50-50 iron and steel. So when you go designing things, if you use those numbers, if you expect that you're going to need a little more copper than iron, then you're not surprised when you need it. Now, the exception to that sort of thing. Stop that, you jerks. Hi, useless pony. Bye, useless pony. So, Lichter, here's an example. This launches rocket silo, launches rockets, and produces satellites. This is all numerically accurate. It needs 3 copper, 2 iron, 1 coal, and 2 oil, and then water. So this needs LDS and fuel and whatever those things are. And then it needs whatever you need to make satellites, which is quite a bit of stuff too. Right? And that's the ratio, 3-to-2, 1, and 2. On the other hand, I have a spreadsheet somewhere in my collection. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Factorio 10K SPM MegaBase science resources. So when I was building this, you see there's iron here, and iron and copper here, and iron down here, right? So each of these has about 144 furnaces in them, all 12 beaconed. So the numbers are pretty stable, and these are max size and max density. So they produce pretty much 8. They produce this 16 belts of material pretty reliably. That's just how that's going to go, right? They're going to get me my resources that I need. To me, it's the 144 that matters. So I'm going to be able to feed this. I'm fine with that. So if you figure every outpost gets me 144 miners or furnaces, and each furnace generates 300 plate per minute, the first 4 sciences, red, green, gray, and blue, copper furnaces, it needed 191, right? So the first 4, red, green, gray, and blue, copper, it needed 191 furnaces. Iron, it needed 494. For purple science, copper, 212 furnaces. Just purple. Just fucking purple. Iron, because of the steel requirements, right? It's 1,047. And of that, steel furnaces, I need 1,062. Me. Jesus, that's a hungry, hungry hippo. Yellow, for copper, needs 631. And for iron, it needs 431. Of which 228 are steel. Not in addition, or not of them. I'm sorry, I said that of which. It's not correct. It needs 431 iron furnaces and 228 steel furnaces. Furnaces for steel. Similarly here, I have 1,000 furnaces to make iron for purple, and I have 1,000 furnaces to make steel for purple. So when you look at this layout, these 3 steel furnaces, now it's not the most efficient because it's dropping iron off and feeding it, but it's a common design. These 3 stacks of iron furnaces, of steel furnaces, 960 furnaces, are just to support purple. That right there, because that's what purple needs. All right? Purple needs the rails, the furnaces, and the modules. Now, some of the modules are made down here where they're close to red and green, and then they're trained in. But holy crap, that's a lot of iron. That is 7 of these outposts. So that one, and that one, and that one, and that one, that's 4. That's half. 5, 6, 7. And if I wanted to, then that's for 10K. If I wanted another 10K, I got to come out here and find 7 more. What does the prod graph show? What would you like to see? For science? Or for steel? Or... Wow, I made 7,500 of those splitters. Oh yeah, because they're used in the other splitters. Copper. Well, it's not running right now, so you're not going to get good numbers on how much copper it uses. But if we look at this, you can see that at some points I'm using 268,000 copper plate, or I'm producing it, which should be the same. Yeah, 300. So, yeah. At its peak, when it was running hard, I don't think, yeah. Also, I've been running this for 400 hours now, so. Yeah. So that's copper. And then if I just say, give me copper and give me iron, and copper and iron, when I turn this thing on, yeah, let me see if I can find steel. There's steel, and there's steel. Steel's relatively small compared to... When I turn this thing on, man, I need to be able to zoom in on this thing. I need to be able to have a bounding bars that let me go. Just show me this part. Click drag here. Zoom in. Iron plate. 331, 319. But if we go back here, iron versus copper. So 150,000 iron, 50,000 copper. And then once I started getting into low density structure, they pretty much stayed the same with copper a little bit higher. right? And then here late game, iron is really high because of the steel requirements. If you take away these steel requirements, then the copper is higher. So plan for it that way. Plan your bases on, hey, I'm going to need as much copper as I do iron, and I'm going to spend half my iron into steel. Also plan to have fun, because it's a fun game. God, I love it. Thank you for being here so that I get to enjoy it. And share, and get feedback. And let me tell you something. The feedback is huge. So, let's continue designing. No, that task note was not important to me. I just wanted to have something on the screen to show you guys while I was working. Bobji, yeah, that's. I'm encouraged because I only need 3 of these rocket silo complexes, right? Thanks, Lichter. I only need 12 silos to reach my goal, 10k science. But I left room in my design. First off, I left the 4th unloader and spliced it in. And secondly, except for purple and yellow, these are scaled to 20,000 science. Yellow is easy. I can double the yellow relatively easy. I left room, and I have a little marker to remind myself for purple science. If my UPS can hold, I want to build another purple science facility out here and another yellow science facility out here. If my UPS holds. And that's why I'm focused right now on redesigning this. And for those who are into numbers and stuff, the monster is, as always, inserters. When it was running, inserters were like 7, 8, 10 sometimes. So, I mean, I got generators and whatever that is. I can't read it. Boilers, car. I've got one sitting around somewhere. I should delete it because it's actually taking UPS. I cut down on my spiders tremendously because spiders were up to like 0.4. I had a big gaggle of spiders, and I went and retired a bunch of them and cut that down. So anything that took a lot. And you can see here why I'm cutting down on the radars, because I'm not using them. I don't need them. They were just for show off, but they hurt me. The flying text is funny. If flying text is because of my mod, well, I see what the UPS impact is. Well, if you don't want to play, then forcing yourself to play is just going to make you resent the game. And it's advised that you find something else to play. If you have the itch to do a city builder, there's plenty of them. If you want something totally different, now, yes, I saw Doshington's trip to the edge of the standard world, and Clowntown had done that before, and it took him several days. He said that the tiling eventually repeats itself, the procedurally generated world. Me, I can get to the end of the world. I just teleport over there and take a train because I'm on a fixed world size. Yeah, one of the things that keeps me playing the game is my blueprints, and I'm not blowing my own shit just because I have these blueprints. But one of the things that gets me a lot of joy is that I've developed these blueprints that get me out of the shitty part of the game very quickly and into the fun part of the game. But I'm always thinking as I'm doing these blueprints, how can I share this? What value is this going to bring to someone else? How can I repeat this? How can I make this function repeatable? So when you look at these things, I've got all of these stations and loaders and stuff and these pieces and parts that I can just slap down anywhere and they work. And this part that I'm working on right now for the rocket silos and all that, these individual components, I have, and I'm not kidding. You see what this plastic build looks like? 12 beacon, standardized unloader. In my blueprints folder, I have an archives, and in there I have a thing called a rail-based layout, rail-based factories, recurring item rail. And I've got this thing here. This is batteries. It's the same concept. Common unloader, this was single-headed trains, so it's a huge rail mess. Common unloader that went to common assemblers, in this case chemical plants, and then loaded up on another. This blueprint is, I want to say, 4 years old. I don't have a timestamp on it, but I've been working on the ideas that you're seeing come through for years so that I could get them to be the way I want. Right? And things like, how do I make this? This layout, I worked on a long time, by the way. I shouldn't have these in here anymore. A long time ago. This is the big saving grace. This is what makes it possible. It will auto-balance the belt. The assembler will alternate between these two outputs, and it will auto-balance the output belt. When I saw that, somebody had it in a blueprint somewhere on Factorio school. I was like, this is gold. This solves all those problems of trying to weave belts around and get them to... Nope. Because now I have blueprint designs for every permutation. What I discovered in that other one that I mentioned, that I showed you, that battery plant, I could figure out a loader for every permutation. 4 solid inputs, no fluid inputs, 1 solid output. 2 fluid inputs, 1 solid input, solid output. Or a fluid output. Something like that. All the permutations of what you do in the game for things that you build all look along these same generic patterns. Here's a single fluid. This is a cracker. This is 2 solids in and a solid out. They're all generic like that. 1 solid, 1 fluid, 1 solid out. Now, if you want something like Factorio, but you want a fun challenge, let me find that game. Mindustry, Mindustry. Very much like Factorio, in that you've got essentially belts, and you've got machines, and you've got mining. Very fun game. Enemies come at you in waves. The other one that's more modern right now is Against the Storm. Against the Storm is an interesting challenge for a Factorio player, especially me, because when you finish with a village, you throw it away. You don't go back to it. You don't even have blueprints. So you have to figure out how to optimize what you're doing, respond to the current situation, and then learn from there, but you're not going to carry it with you. So this is steel. This is going to be green. Oh, that's right. I wanted to rebalance this. This is a 3 to 4. I don't want a 3 to 3. This is 3 to 4. I don't like that at all, but So these are going directly over there to this, wherever I end up putting this. All right. You need to get iron in here. And you're not the only iron, but I think I had decided that I could feed this iron off of those. So, iron usage. I have a Kirk calendar, or a Kirk page open, which is 4 items a minute of satellites with all of these settings cranked up. Kirk's website has been a huge, huge boon. I know this factory planner and stuff like that, and I should probably use it so that you can see things on screen. All right, so in terms of iron usage, satellites and green circuits. Satellites are going to use 0.1 of a belt. Green circuits are going to use 3.4. So if I bring 4 belts of iron here, I can pull one for this. And share it. But I need to bring 4 other belts. Now, according to this is going to use 0.7. Each of these is going to use 0.7 of a belt of iron. Which means that they basically get their own. Because 3.4, yeah. The way my world works, that's your own. That means you're in the way. Move. Imshe. You're going to go here. Why do I have 5 of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I do. This does not work. I need to do something differently. Because I only have 4 belts to bring in, but I have 5 inputs. So what I need to do is not do that, but do this, get a blueprint, go 4 to 5. Blueprints, 4 to 5s. Not 4 to 6. Oh, you're hideous. Jesus. And your mother dresses you funny. All right. So this is iron. And then copper's going to come here. Lord help me. All right, copper. Each one of these needs 0.7, so the same thing. I'm going to have 4 in. And 5 out. So you're going to have the same ugly ass splitter. So this should come there, but it's not gonna. I haven't decided if this is where I want to do this or not. But I gotta feed copper down. Oh, you need copper too. Shit. Shit, 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 shit. Copper usage. Low density structures needs 3. This needs 0.8. You need 3.5. 0.8 plus 3.5 is more than 4, so you need your own belt or you will rob. Well, maybe these don't go all the way out. Maybe these go... No, right now they've got to go all the way out because they got to end up here. Not sure how I'm going to do this. Because that's not enough. So where's all the copper going? And should I move the copper trains together and then blend them and then send them out? Most of the copper is going into copper cable, 53% of it. So it makes sense for copper to be down here. If I swap the copper and the iron, iron's going to be way up there, and I need a fair bit of iron down here. So probably should move the steel to the top and then the iron, and then keep these 2 coppers together. No way I can interfere with this steel. The steel is, even though I would like to put the steel up there, I need this RoboPort here. There's not much I can do about that. It's just a gotta be there sort of thing. How close are you? Yeah, you need to be there. I can't move you up here and still have you cover this, so. All right. So let's grab this. Move it to the side. Let's grab steel. Push you up here. Grab these just for the visual effect. What the heck are you doing here? Go away. You're not needed anymore. So regretfully, we've got to move the iron up here to where the steel currently is. You don't get to persist. Normally, I do not balance coming off of a train. So this is going to be an 8 to something. Fortunately, Rehnquist has gotten us a lot of 8 to other inhumane numbers, so I'll use those. But I know I need 5 copper here. And I think I'm going to tuck the copper in as tight as I can. So I've got the iron way down here. And I'll bring the copper way up here, and then I'll bring the green circuits out there. So all these green circuits have to come out somewhere, so... Green circuits, I need 0.4, 2.2, 0.1, 2.3. So I'd like to be able to just green these, because these are going to eat a good chunk of these green circuits here. This is going to eat 2.5 belts of green circuits. But what I need to do with the green circuits is balance them first. Fortunately, I can get across there. I don't think that reaches. Damn it! It interferes with that too, so. I think I'll just bring in a fifth. Rather than have that ugly ass balancer in the middle, why not just bring in a fifth belt of iron? It seems like I just did this. So that's an input. Oh, that's an input as well. So what I want to do is I want these green circuits to all go to a balancer. So this is as tight as I'm going to be able to bring this copper. So that gets me all the copper I need here, and it shows me where I need to be and where I can't be. Now I've got a demand for green circuits right here that is going to take 3 belts of green circuits. So it's 2.3. Interestingly enough, this needs 2.3 belts. Oh, I missed a couple. That's why. I'm missing a couple. Shit. Well, that sucks. One of my least favorite things to do. Yeah, there's a copper feed. And there's a green circuit feed. Well, if we're going to do stupid stuff like that. Nope, we're not, because that'll collide with this copper. Might as well get all the copper in one spot. This is not where these are going to be. It's just to remind me what they are. I don't have much room to move it down. I can move it over so that I have room, because it's looking like I'm not going to have room for this in here. And I almost certainly want this somewhere other than way over there, even if it ends up in this spot or in here. Because it's going to be bot finalized, so I don't much care. So this might end up somewhere entirely different. I don't want to bot feed it. I will bot unload it. And I may also, if this ends up in a totally different position, I may end up moving this loader to somewhere else. Like I have no problem putting it all the way up on top, so it's a short train ride out. Although most of my designs have the specialized loader on the outside, and they've got their own dedicated thing. I've already moved this up once, so can't do anything about that. I'm also not 100% certain I need these green circuits here. I've got some space. They could go here if I absolutely wanted them to. And then I've only got those little things in there, and that's not exactly ideal. Which, by the way, I still got to remember I got to do this. So let's do that as a reminder. Because I gotta feed that. Look at me, I'm distracted. Woohoo! Mine. Sorry, couldn't resist. Hmm. If you're not going to be in the way anymore, I might do this differently too.